What's happening again, YouTube? Back with another video. We've got Rookie Year Behind Bars. This is on A&E TV. It's an American program. I said I was going to do a video on mental health. We're going to be looking at the mental health unit. It's just a clip from their series. So yeah, let's get straight into it and have a look. Yeah, I said I was going to do it on mental health on my last video. If you haven't seen my last video, go check it out. And let's go.
When I come into work, they can put me wherever they want me, and you just really never know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis, so you always have to be ready.
That's true.
They're in my room. They're trying to get me.
There's nothing in there. There's just four walls.
This is my first time dealing with an inmate that had cut him.
I remember running into an incident once. One of the officers was running and his keys fell out of his pouch on the chain. The chain tangled round his legs. He went flying. He went flying. His hands was cut up to fuck. He just got up, carried on running.
Himself.
They fight all day long.
He was a good guy. I felt sorry for him.
Did you get any sleep last night?
They fight all day long.
It's not always violence against the COs or inmates on inmates. Sometimes inmates are just trying to hurt themselves.
They're trying to get me. They keep fighting. Right now they're fighting. It's not good when they fight. They fought all night long, waking me up.
He just kept talking about how the voices told him to do it. So they had mental health in there talking to him.
That's very common. That's one of the things as well. The mental health in there, the self-harm is crazy. It's everywhere. Every inmate has got some sort of self-harm scar. I'd say a good 90%. Some of them you can see like their whole arm where they've been cutting, it's just from top to bottom is just like tiger stripes. It's crazy to see. The first time you see stuff like that, it's mad.
I'm not too sure what it was. It's just a little piece of metal.
They use this. This is why as well. When you take them down to seg, they don't like. We used to have a room that was just there was no like the beds were made of metal. Even in seg, the beds was made of metal. You couldn't put like they would rip off a piece of the bed or they'd just bend it. Pieces of metal. If you keep bending it, eventually comes off, and they cut themselves with that. They cut themselves with anything they could get their hands on.
A lot of inmates hide things up their butt, and they can only cough so much and make them squat. You really want to keep something in, you will. And he obviously kept that, and he cut himself on the arm. At the old main, they used to house the mentally ill with general population, and I can't imagine how that would be today. Mental health inmates are now housed in the APA unit.
You bought it.
See you in there, Leonard.
S-Bot. Having all the mentally ill inmates in one unit seems better for them. But at the same time, though, it makes it a lot more dangerous for us.
We're not regular inmates, you know? We're just crazy. We're the type of mental health patients that we could have a psychotic episode and end up on death row. We're not the type of people that have like their conscience or you know, other things that normal people have, you know?
I have anger management impulse disorder. I have a brain.
We had some people like that in mine as well. Again, we used to have some of the prisoners down in seg would never associate with anyone. Like the only time they would ever see another person would be when they're in full riot gear, feeding them, 5 of them with a shield, feeding them through the door. that's it, or full riot gear to escort them to a shower, because like I said, down in Seg, they didn't have showers in cells and stuff, or 5 people in gear. Again, if there was that dangerous, and there was some guys who just, as soon as they got the opportunity to attack an officer, they would. So there was some, like I said, crazy guys in there as well.
Brain injury, and I mean, I think people take advantage. They can say, you know what, he's not really all there, so we can use him. I mean, use him to do stuff. I shanked one of the CERT team members in the neck. I proved myself, that I wasn't no punk, that I could do something.
When you shank an officer in the neck, how does that make you feel?
It makes me very leery. It makes me wonder if he'll do the same thing to me.
Yeah, but you understand his apprehension?
I agree with him. Sometimes you just can't hold it back. And I mean, so I know where he's coming from. I mean,
Hey, it looks good.
yeah.
Pretty soon he'll be out on the street again. This is something he needs. He needs to be reintegrated back into population, because if we don't, then we're never gonna know how they act.
I don't know how I'm gonna react when people are gonna be walking around me, even at a gas station or even at the mall where it's crowded. I don't know how I'm gonna act. I'm gonna be like paranoid. I'm not gonna feel comfortable with somebody walking behind me. It's been a long time. I don't know how I'm gonna act when I get out there. Yeah, I'm scared. A lot of people say they're not. But
Again, going into that, like, this is institutionalized. I've said it a couple of times on a couple of videos now. It is a crazy mentality to be in for people. Like, I've met people who are in that mentality. It's like he said, the whole behaviour's changed. The things that you don't have to worry about on the outside, like you said, people walking behind you, you do have to worry about that on the inside. Like, a lot of inmates walk around with towels wrapped around their necks and stuff, because just to cover their necks in case anybody does try and do a sneak attack or anything like that, because like I said, it can come from anywhere, and you don't know when it's coming, who it's coming from. It's just a mad situation sometimes.
I'm scared. I think everybody is now.
Giving this to these inmates that have been known for their violent past, makes us very worried. When he's out here cleaning, we basically give him weapons.
You're welcome.
There are seasoned and veteran officers here who don't think that this should happen at all. Some of them have come from the old Maine where the riot happened. They've seen people getting shanked and they've seen people getting killed. We don't know what his intentions are.
They're gonna take me seriously? I look like I'm 12 years old.
So yeah, that was Rookie Year as well. Behind Bars and A&E. It's an American one. Again, I'll just say my little piece on some of the mental health. There was a guy who had severe OCD. He used to, like, for example, go towards a cell. He'd like lick his finger, touch the top of the door, stamp twice, and go in. He'd like everything he walked past. He had to lick his finger, touch, lick his finger, touch. Like, I don't know why he was doing it. And he was, I think again, it was drug use that led him to do that. There was another guy in there. His nickname was Sarge or Sergeant. He used to like walk around, and when you asked him for his ID badge, he'd put it on his chest and like stand tall to you and salute you as he's walking past and stuff. He had no pain threshold. Whenever there was, if we ever had to get him, luckily I was never involved in anything with him to get him in, because it sounded like he had to. He went crazy, but he had no pain threshold. So any of the what do you call them now? Like sensors in. Not sensors, but it's like pressure points. Any pressure points, you just don't feel them. Like, you can't use any pressure points to put him behind his door safely, etc. Who else was there? There was just a lot of guys in there that needed to be in a hospital, because obviously they do get manipulated. People do use them, as this guy's just said in there as well. Yeah, it's just a bit of a sad situation for him, but again, it's one of them where some people will cut themselves and play on mental health, or pretend they've got mental health to manipulate the system. Again, if they're in debt and if they're scared for their life, they'd rather cut themselves a little bit to try and get moved down to seg, or maybe, like I said in a previous video, is they'd do a hit or something to get moved down to seg, which you can't. That can't run. One incident, the worst one that I had, was one guy told him he's moving. He's like, I can't move over there. I've got people over there that don't like me. Rare. and he ended up putting his light on. So I've gone up to his door. What's up now? And he's got a razor blade. He goes, I'm not going. And he's got this razor blade, and he's cut himself across his throat. And I'm looking for the obs panel. Why have you done that? So I've just like smashed the obs panel shut. Shouted to, because I had a bit of rapport with him. So I was like, why are you fucking doing that? He's like, because I'm not going. I'm like, well, you're gonna have to go eventually. Like, something's gonna happen. He's like, I'm not going. So anyway, because the move had been approved, so I don't know. But yeah, so I've radioed in and all that sort of stuff for like nurses and shit like that, because we don't open the cell until the nurses will get there. Then we open the cell when there's a few more people, etc. But yeah, that was one of the worst ones. Put his light on. I opened his light. I went, I'm not going. Slit his throat. But again, that's just like I said. It's the job. When you say that, when you say that, like, oh, that's the job, like, people don't actually fully comprehend the shit that you see on a day-to-day basis. Self-harming and stuff is a daily thing. There needs to be more staff. There needs to be more mental health hospitals and stuff, and it's just so underfunded by the government that it's ridiculous. So anyway, that's my take on the governments and the prison system and stuff like that. And privatisation, I think that's wrong. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and yeah, we'll see what we're reacting to next. And put some suggestions, likes, comments, questions, explain some shit, like I said in a previous video, the tier system, you know. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.